The New York Yankees have always been a team that values tradition and discipline, but Jazz Chisholm has never been a player who follows a standard. And now he's making noise again. The newly arrived star in the Bronx isn't afraid to stand out, whether through his flashy style or his sharp opinions. But this time, his statement went beyond baseball, and it could spark a lot of controversy. Chisholm has always been a player who divides opinions. On the field, his talent is undeniable. He's fast, explosive, and has a strong offensive presence. But off the field, his vibrant personality and bold style make him one of the most unique athletes in MLB. He's not afraid to express himself, whether with jewelry, customized cleats, or controversial interviews. And of course, that rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Since the beginning of his career, he has faced criticism for being different. Many said his behavior was over the top, that he didn't respect baseball's traditions. But Chisholm has always stood his ground, refusing to change who he is. The problem, according to him, isn't his style, but something much deeper. In an explosive interview with The Athletic, he got straight to the point and made a bold statement. Asterisk, baseball is a white sport. I feel like white people criticize everything a black man does. Black men are outspoken. They say what they think. Asterisk, and he didn't stop there. Asterisk, the unwritten rules of baseball are white, and I've always broken those rules. Asterisk, these statements have sparked a huge debate in the league. Many agree that baseball still has serious issues when it comes to diversity. Others, however, believe Chisholm is exaggerating. But regardless of opinions, one thing is clear. He isn't afraid to speak his mind. And this wasn't the first time he felt disrespected for his authenticity. When he made his MLB debut with the Miami Marlins in 2020, he was already showcasing his style with customized cleats and flashy accessories. But not everyone in the locker room approved. One of the players most bothered by it was veteran Miguel Rojas. Rojas, who was one of the team's leaders, made his dissatisfaction known in a drastic way. He took a pair of Chisholm's cleats and cut them with scissors. As if that wasn't enough, he destroyed another pair by pouring milk over them. An extreme act that made it clear the young talent wasn't welcomed by everyone in the Marlins clubhouse. And according to Chisholm, this happened for one very specific reason. Nobody would cut my cleats or throw my stuff away if I were white, he said. Asterisk, if a white kid does this, nobody messes with him. But if it's me, it's a different story. Asterisk, this kind of conflict within a team can be devastating for a young player. But instead of staying quiet or changing who he is, Chisholm kept pushing forward and continued playing his game. Still, his relationship with Rojas was never fully resolved. The atmosphere behind the scenes wasn't great, and when he was traded to the New York Yankees last season, he didn't hide his happiness. And this situation raises an even bigger question. Why are there so few black players in MLB today? The numbers are alarming. According to league statistics, only 6% of players on opening day rosters last year were black, the lowest number since 1991. To put that into perspective, between the 1970s and 1980s, that number was between 17% and 19%. In other words, the presence of black athletes in baseball has drastically declined over the decades. This data sparks important discussions. Is baseball still a sport with invisible barriers for black players? Does the league's traditionalist culture make it harder for athletes who don't fit the established mold to rise? These are questions MLB needs to answer if it truly wants to make the sport more inclusive. Meanwhile, Chisholm continues to write his own story. Now, he's part of one of the most iconic teams in the league, and expectations are high for his first season with the New York Yankees. The team opens against the Milwaukee Brewers this Thursday, and all eyes will be on him. Will he be able to silence the critics and prove he belongs among the best? Over his 5-year career, Chisholm has already shown what he's capable of. He has a .249 batting average, with 77 home runs, 228 RBIs, and 99 stolen bases. He was also an all-star in 2022 and even became the cover star of MLB The Show 23. Now, he has a chance to shine on one of baseball's biggest stages. But what do you think about this controversy? Is Chisholm right to say he faces more criticism because he's black? Or are baseball's rules truly the same for everyone? Leave your opinion in the comments below. The New York Yankees are facing one of the biggest challenges of the season before it even begins. Their starting rotation, which was already raising concerns, has now turned into a minefield after a series of devastating injuries. Garrett Cole, the team's ace, is out for the season after undergoing the dreaded Tommy John surgery. Luis Gil will also be sidelined for months due to a dorsal strain. And to make matters worse, Clark Schmidt is dealing with shoulder issues. With 3 key pieces out of action, the Yankees are in serious trouble. This means that at the moment, the rotation essentially consists of Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, and a big question mark. And let's be honest, for a team with championship aspirations, relying on just 2 proven starters is enough. The Yankees know they need to act fast before the season slips through their fingers. Given this situation, one name has started to gain traction behind the scenes in the Bronx. According to Zachary D. Reimer of Bleacher Report, there's a trade that he considers almost inevitable: Sandy Alcantara wearing the Yankees uniform. And if this really happens, it could be the franchise's biggest move of the season. The proposed deal involves sending a package of top prospects to the Miami Marlins. The Yankees will have to part ways with outfielder Spencer Jones, pitcher Will Warren, and shortstop George Lombard Jr., 3 of the team's most promising farm system players. The price is steep, but when it comes to acquiring an ace like Alcantara, it's a sacrifice that must be considered. And Reimer justifies this move in a straightforward manner. Asterisk, this is not a light package the Yankees will be giving up, but the issue is obvious. Beyond being very, very good, Alcantara's contract is guaranteed through 2026 with a $21 million club option for 2027. Asterisk, in other words, Alcantara wouldn't just be a short-term solution, but rather a centerpiece of the Yankees' rotation for the coming years. With Cole out and Rodon still in uncertainty due to his injury history, having someone like Sandy Alcantara alongside Max Fried could completely transform the Bronx rotation. But the big question remains, will the Marlins really be willing to trade one of their best players? Well, if there's one MLB franchise that isn't afraid to part ways with its stars, it's the Miami Marlins. Over the years, the Marlins have repeatedly shown that they don't hesitate to move even their biggest names when they see an opportunity to reshape the roster. And in Alcantara's case, there's an important factor to consider. He is coming back from Tommy John surgery. The pitcher missed the entire last season recovering, but early glimpses in spring training suggest he's back in top form. If there's a perfect time for the Marlins to trade Alcantara for a package of young talent, it might be now, before any doubts about his durability resurface. But before we discuss the future, let's remember why Alcantara is so valuable. In 2022, he had an absolutely dominant season. He won the National League Cy Young Award unanimously, posting a 14-9 record with a minuscule 2.28 ERA. And more impressively, he was an absolute workhorse, pitching 228.2 innings, the most in all of baseball, and completing 6 games, something almost unheard of in today's game. Having a pitcher of that caliber in a rotation isn't just a luxury. It's a necessity for a team that wants to compete for a championship. And the Yankees know it. Now, imagine a scenario where the Bronx Bombers enter the playoffs with Max Fried and Sandy Alcantara as their top 2 starters. That completely changes the team's outlook and gives the Yankees a lethal combination for a postseason run. But of course, this trade also carries risks. Spencer Jones is considered one of the best young talents in the organization, and many believe he could be a key piece of the team's future. Will Warren has shown strong potential as a pitcher and could develop into a reliable starter in the coming years. George Lombard Jr., on the other hand, has an incredibly high ceiling as a shortstop. Giving up these 3 players is a tough decision, but if the Yankees want to win now, they might not have a choice. Baseball is a game of risks, and sometimes sacrifice in the future is necessary to secure the present. So now the question goes to you. Should the Yankees go all in on Sandy Alcantara and give up these prospects? Or should they look for less costly alternatives in the market? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to keep up with all the latest MLB news and rumors, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me a lot to keep bringing you quality content. And if you want to know more about potential blockbuster trades this season, check out this video right here on the screen. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. See you there, Yankees fans.